"Daddy is not dead. He's under the floorboards," said the black girl. Then the police started digging. Before we dive in this story, hit the comments and tell us your city or country. Let's see how far this story reaches. If you like the video, please subscribe. Everyone said her father had disappeared, that he'd just walked away from everything, his job, his family, his life. But 6-year-old Amina never believed it. One evening, during a visit to a new foster home, she whispered something chilling to a neighbor. "Daddy's not dead. He's under the floor." Nobody listened until she pointed to the exact spot. That's when the officers arrived, tools in hand. What they uncovered in that quiet suburban home would make national headlines and force the system to answer questions it had buried for years. Watch until the end. Amina was small for her age, but unusually quiet and observant. Since her father's disappearance, she'd bounced between homes, each one colder than the last. Her latest foster family lived in a polished white house with trimmed hedges and friendly smiles, but something about it unsettled her. Late at night, she'd stare at the wooden floorboards in the hallway, unmoving. Amina hadn't spoken much since. Her dad went missing. Still, during a school visit, a counselor noticed she kept drawing the same picture: a square, a man's face, and something buried. When asked, she'd say, "That's where Daddy is." Everyone dismissed it as trauma, a child's grief, until she finally screamed during a home inspection, pointing to the hallway floor. "He's right there!" What followed next would unravel the very home that tried to keep her silent, and finally expose the truth. The officer on duty didn't want to believe her, but her terror was undeniable. The social worker, now alarmed, insisted they check. The foster parents grew defensive. "She's disturbed. She makes things up." But Amina wasn't crying or flailing. She was focused, still, as if listening to something no one else could hear. A court order was issued under pressure, and within 24 hours, a forensic team arrived with ground-penetrating equipment. They scanned the hallway and paused. A void, a space that wasn't on the house plans. The drill whirred. Wood cracked. Then the smell hit. They found a shallow grave, wrapped in a military jacket, with a photo tucked into the pocket. Amina's father, his ID, his wedding ring. Her drawing had been exact. The foster father was arrested immediately. Turns out, he'd once worked with Amina's dad and had a criminal record sealed behind loopholes. Authorities had missed it, until Amina made them look. The home had passed inspection, but no one had listened to the little girl until she stopped, whispering, and started pointing. The press surrounded the house as officers carried the remains out. Amina stood beside the social worker, clutching the photo they let her keep. Reporters tried to ask questions, but she didn't speak. Not yet. Inside the police van, the man who killed her father broke down, mumbling about keeping him quiet. For Amina, the silence was finally broken. Her father wasn't just missing, he had been stolen, and she had brought him back. As the van doors slammed shut and cameras flashed, one officer whispered, "This little girl just cracked a case grown men couldn't touch." The truth was buried, but she refused to forget. Amina was placed with a loving family afterward, one that honored her voice instead of silencing it. Her story spread nationwide, triggering new legislation around foster care background checks and overlooked missing persons cases. It wasn't just justice for her father. It was a reckoning for every child ignored, for every case filed away and forgotten. Sometimes it takes the smallest voice to expose the most significant crimes. And sometimes the bravest person in the room is the one who never stopped loving. How? Many unheard whispers are still hiding in silence. If you enjoyed this story and thought it provoking, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful narratives. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Take care.